Okay, assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everybody. Today I will be master ceremony for weekend tech talk. Okay, in this occasion, Father Karim will be the speaker of this morning. Okay, to Father Karim, you the stage is yours.
Okay, thank you, Father. Okay, so Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, so in this time, I will be a speaker for this session. It's about a base CLI configurations. So this is basically why I choose this one because this is was the material that we're learning in my major, basically in networking engineering. And this semester I because I'm learning about Cisco and I want to show you some knowledge what I've been learned, and if you think that is good for you, that means it's very good. Okay, so let's get started. Oh, I share screen. Okay, let's I share screen first. Okay. Okay. Okay, so I use slide there for this time. It's about the base CLI configuration, and this material is because it's a Cisco, it's part of the Cisco, and I want to do it like some short explanation or short introduction about a Cisco. What is Cisco? Okay, so this is I want to explain first about Cisco. So Cisco is like a brand or the company that's make like the networking devices that's connecting the world. So because that Cisco is more a launcher that has been established in the world. So this is like the most the long time ago, the Cisco has been like a king of the networking. Yeah. For example, they made like a first device ever in 1986. Yeah, for example, and they maybe can use for to empowering the world for the networking. And the Cisco, it's released like for networking, not networking devices like routers, switch, access point, and many others for networking purposes. And because that the Cisco is was the big company that make a like network devices, so that's why the Cisco is many improvements on his their technologies. Okay, maybe that's sort of explanation about the Cisco, and because that about the because the material is about the basic configurations, and we want to do it's use an application. It's named Cisco Packet Tracer. So what is Cisco Packet Tracer? So Cisco Packet Tracer is like applications. It's from Cisco. Like if you don't have like a physical devices or if you don't have like a budget, you want to buy like a physical devices, you can to simulate the devices with this application. The name is Cisco Packet Tracer or CPT. And because that is application is free and no other companies like networking companies make like this simulation application. So if you see this Cisco has been made application simulation tool and it's free. So because that I want to show you with the Cisco packet tracer. And before we use this Cisco packet tracer, the firstly we need to have to sign into the NetAccount account for the simple, yeah. And the second, now we download the application after we sign in the Cisco NetAccount account. Okay, that's about the Cisco packet tracer. And because I don't have like physical devices, so let's get started with Cisco packet tracer. Okay, we now started because this about best CLI configuration. I want to explain first here about the CLI. So because that in every Cisco devices like routers and switch, they want to configure like the commands or maybe you want to configure like the interface or maybe something. You might need to remember the base here, the CLI configuration like the configuration mode, the configuration command, and maybe others. Okay, so because that, I want to show you the packet tracer first. So this is my packet tracer. Yeah. This is was the simulation application from Cisco, and because this is was simulation tools, so we need like to add some devices first. And for example, yeah, you can to make like topology like this, like router SPF. So we want to make simple first. Okay, now we don't need to take much time, so let's get started this tutorial or this session. Okay, so for first we need to add some networking devices. So for devices that you want to use, you can use like routers. There's so many models of routers in here, and there's a switch. You want to add like switch. There's some switch that you can use it, or maybe like others. Yeah. So this time we want to use a router, which is, for example, 1841. Yeah. So this router we want to use for this lesson. Okay. Okay, we just use this. I want to zoom in, but it cannot. Okay, where's it? Oh, maybe just add manually. Okay, wait again. Okay, so the simple, we need like one devices to configure. So for example, we want to use like routers. So now we're gonna to enter this router. Yeah. So basically, if you using like physical devices to connect the router, we need like one interface need is like the console cable. So for example, I want to remote from PC into the switch. So you basically need to add like PC or client. So you can go to the end devices and you can add PC. There we go. So now we add some the PC here. And if you want to remote CLI from PC into the router, so you can use like connections here. You want to use that connection, so there's like console, copper strike touch, copper crossover, and maybe the other cable for Cisco packet tracer that you can use. Okay, for remote the CLI via console into the PC, you can use like a console cable here. So now we're gonna connect from console from PC, we use this interface RS232, and we connect the router into the console interface. Okay, so this is this is the example if you want to remote from console. Yeah. Okay, if you want to enter the CLI in packet tracer, you can to click devices and you can to click CLI in here. So as you can see, this is was the CLI interface in packet tracer. Or if you're already using like console cable, you can go to PC, go to desktop, and you can go to terminal. So this is what's use the console cable. Okay, so this is like this, yeah. Cool. So but this time I want to use directly from the switch, yeah. Okay, so first let's get started this time. Now we're gonna enter the CLI. For the first, we have this question if we boot the device. So like this one, would you like to enter the initial configuration dialog? So this yes and no. So we just if you type yes, there's many like step by step or like tutorial the base configuration, yeah. But this time I will click no because if you say yes, there will be many guide from this device. So I think this is take much time. Okay, let's say no and press return to get started. Okay, so this is we successfully use the CLI, and we need to know the configuration mode. So the first that is the user mode. User mode is indicated like this, yeah, like upper down, like the what right arrow, yeah, for example. And the privilege mode, it's indicated with the hashtag, which is if you want to do like configuration, you might see these indicators with hashtag. And if you want to configuration terminal, and if you enter it, there will be show like this router config hashtag. Okay, now let's get started with the base command that you might fast to remember. Yeah. Okay, now we're going to enter the privilege mode. So you can to use the command because this is a user mode. You cannot to do like configuration this terminal, or maybe you have to restrict the features, or maybe restrict the commands. So if you want to go to privilege mode, you can to use command enable. And there we go. We successfully go to the privilege mode. And now what we're gonna to do is configure the terminal. So you can do type like this. Configure terminal. Okay, well, we want to configure terminal. After this, in the configure terminal, if you don't know like commands that you want to proceed, or if you don't know the command that you want to use in this terminal configuration, you can to use like this. The help, yeah. Like if you don't know the commands, you can to use the help function. So just press the question mark on or in your keyboard, press shift question mark, and you'll see the configuration commands available in this session. So you can to use after use like config terminal command, you can to use like you want to something maybe, yeah. Okay, for this time, we have to do is make the message of the day. So message of the day is the function that if you start the router, they will give like a function to say like a message. So now we're still in the configuration terminal in here, still in router config. So now we type uh, MOTD, yeah, banner MOTD. And after MOTD, we have a space and use the symbol, yeah. For example, we use minus and enter. Okay, now in the MOTD, we need to enter like message. For example, uh, uh, welcome network engineering. And if you want to end this character, you can to use the symbol that you entered before. And if you already entered this MOTD function, you will see later when you exit. Try we exit there, and when we press enter here, you will see the message that have been make last time. So this is name is MOTD. Okay, now we're gonna do is next, yeah. We can to change the router identity like a host name on router. So if example if you confuse the router, so example you have 10 routers. So if you want to like rename this router, you can use this command. Okay, we're gonna enter again to privilege mode, enable, and configure terminal, yeah. And we can use this command, yeah, host name. For example, we want to rename this router, so we can to add like this router IDN 1. Now, for example, yeah. So if you enter this hostname configuration, you can see it has been changed. Yeah. Okay, so that is if you want to change like router identity or router hostname, you can use this command like hostname. Okay, now we want to add like a password. So the password function is used if you want to user trying to enter like privilege mode, they might be need to enter the password first because sometimes if you don't put the password on the router, the user will be try can be configured like you want to do like annoying configure this router without because you don't put password. So this is will be have big problem, yeah. Okay, now we want to do is configure password. So the first that is a type 7 and the second is type 5. The difference of these types, the type 7, they didn't have encryption, yeah? Because if you want to see like configuration, you can see this password if you see in configuration. But if you use the type 5, and the type 5 is the uh, encryption. So if you want to see like the configuration, you cannot see it later. Okay, now we're gonna to do add password. First is type 7. So if you want to use the password with the type 7, you can to use this command, enable password, and you can to enter the password as you want. For example, TKG Jaya. Okay, for example, yeah. Now we're gonna to exit for this command, exit, ex, and now we want to trying to enter the privilege mode, enable. And after we use the password configuration, we may get asked to enter the password that have been entered before. Okay. Okay, there we go. And now we're going to do is use the password for the type 5, yeah. Okay, now we're going to try the password for the type 5. So we're going to do is configure terminal again. Terminal. And we use, if you want to use the type 5, you can to use this command, enable, but this is use secret, not password, yeah, secret, enable secret. So if you want to do enable secrets, don't use the same password. So if you want to use this, use the type 5, you may need to do is enter the different password. Okay, for example is TKJ ya, for example TKJ aja. And after we use the enable secrets, so let's try to exit again. And if you want to enter like configure to privilege mode, you might need to ask password on type 5, yeah, not type 7, type 5. Okay. Okay. Okay, there we go. So that's about password. Okay. So now, if you want to see the configuration that you have been do before, so you want to see the configuration that are running on the router, you can use this command like show run. So the show run command is used to show the configuration is that running on this router. So because that router is still running on the like a RAM, so there's like a RAM and NVRAM. So RAM is used to temporary save the configuration on the temporary on the RAM. So if you want to save configuration completely, you can do later I will show you. Okay, so if you show this configuration, you can see that I have been shown before this enable secret and enable password. Yeah. So if you use the enable secrets, you can see the password has been encrypted. And but if you use like type 7, you can see the password is not encrypted, and you can see it's visible. Yeah. And this is easily get stolen for other people. So if you want to see more configuration, you can to press paste in here, so you can see in here all configuration that you have been entered. So like MOTD, there's like interface, IP address. So because I don't add an IP address to interface, so there's no IP address. Okay, now if you want to check the system flash, so you can use this command, yeah, show flash. So why we must have this command? Because if you want to use like remotely or from PC via SSH, yeah, you must have the crypto support in this flash. Like you need to like key9, this one, yeah, for example. And this flash is means like the operating system that has been run in router. So this router is running in iOS. That is operating system for Cisco devices in router and switch. Okay, so now we're gonna use this command, yeah, of if you want to save configuration, because this all configuration running here is still temporarily saved in RAM. And if you like to shut down this router without saving it, and if you want to boot again or restart this router again, you might lose the configuration because the configuration before is still temporarily saved in the RAM. And if you want to save it, you can to use this command like this one, right? Yeah, right. And if you click enter, they will automatically save to NVRAM. So this is will save if you like accidentally restart our router, and if you want to putting back again to the boot session, and this is will save. Okay, and the second command, you can to use the erase config. So the erase config function is erase all the config that have been saved in the NVRAM and all of them in the temporary. So if you want to like erase all of configuration, and if you want to destroy our configuration, you can use the command write erase. Oh, sorry, it's typo. Write erase. And this is will remove, yeah. So this are running. So if you want to exit, you can to press Control C, and if you want to confirm, just click enter. And if you click enter, you will have to destroy. You have to confirm that you destroy all configuration. Okay, now the third command. If this seems like the router does or switch does not responding completely, and if you want to reboot the router without unplug it, so you can to use like this command. Use the reload. So this is same like you restart, yeah, reload. Okay, so reload a command is means you want to reboot again this router or switch. If like not responding or maybe something, you can use this command. Okay, now we want to do is the next. So there's a last, yeah. This is for the last. Okay, for the last, there's like a short command that you want to use. So for example, if you want to use like enable command, you might don't need to type long, because if you type long, you might need have the may take the couple time to typing. So if you want to do type, you can to just like press EN like this. But there's many miss. For example, if you uh, do like, for example, if you want to enable, you can to just use command en, and that en means you enable this enable into the privilege mode. But if you type too short like this they will have ambiguous command because maybe this is command. It can be used for the other command. For example, what's the letter can be used? You can to use the question mark. There's enable and exit. So if you use only, the router will confuse. You want to use enable or exit. So now we want to use enable. So you can to press N. Now after this letter, what will be you can to use like question mark. So it has been enabled. So at least if you want to use the short CLI command, you may need to do like not too short, but it's not too long, and that means that is completely like this. And okay, now we want to configure terminal. So the configure terminal letter starts from C, config, yeah. And if you just only type C, they will confuse again ambiguous command because C letter can be used for like clear, clock, configure, connect, and copy. So if you press like CO and if you press question mark again, this CO can be used for configure, connect, and copy. So this router will still confuse. And now we add again one more letter like N. So there's still two left command, and this is will still confuse you if you too short. Now let's one more again, C O N F, and if you press question mark again, now the router can know this C O N F. It's shorted of the configure. Okay, configure terminal, and that's all of them. Okay, so if you want to run like as a command, like if you want to see the configuration command, for example, you want to see the configuration, you can to show run, yeah, for example, show run. This is cannot because this as a command it's outside from the terminal configuration. So if you want to run the as a command in configuration terminal, so you might add the one command, for example, do, yeah, do show run. So if you run do, this is will be called the L as a command that outside from the terminal configuration. Okay, okay, I think that's all of them. So this is all of them, all of material about the best CLI configuration in router. I think that's all from me of material, and thank you guys for watching. And we give to the host for this time, okay? And thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you for Madan for explaining the best configuration for Cisco tracer. And I think our time is over and up close is take talk with cover the magistrate. Subhanallah,
Yes,
sama-sama.
Eh,